about our guest that we have on today. I can honestly say he's a friend, he's a partner, he's been a mentor in certain situations. So I'm super excited to bring on Fernell Hogan, the founder of Here for Good Texas. He's doing a lot of good things to help support communities in need.
I'm just trying to be the person that wasn't there for me in my upbringing. Areas I needed help, I wish I would have needed help. I'm just trying to fill those voids in our communities.
This kind of new wave of digital education and how it can be an immersive experience where we can really get kids to have a dream, have a vision, something that continues to stretch their mind. And it's by exposing them to those types of things, right?
We got to find a way to take the fear out of finance. And I think an important part is the parents. The conversations have to start at home.
There's a lot of parents who like to live their dreams through their kids. They want their kids to be where they thought they was going to be.
We want to have a dream school or a vision school that we put in place for children.
Financial literacy is not sexy. No one wants to talk about it.
Welcome back, everybody on LinkedIn. We are here for our second edition of Finance First, our series. Derrick and I chose to put on because we wanted to make sure that for this month of April, for Financial Literacy Month, that you were getting the information and the resources that you need to make sure that your children, the people around you, are getting the proper financial education, right? So we're taking this time out this month to introduce you to some awesome people that have the resources, that have the vision, that are helping move the financial literacy movement and financial education movement forward. And so we're back again to give you another one. I'll toss it over to Derrick. Derrick, how's your Thursday going so far, man?
So far, so good, man. I'm excited to be here with the audience, and man, I'm super pumped about our guest that we have on today. I can honestly say he's a friend, he's a partner, he's been a mentor in certain situations. So I'm super excited to bring on Fernell Hogan, the founder of Here for Good Texas. He's doing a lot of good things to help support communities in need. And so, Fernell, welcome. And I'd love to just start off telling folks who Fernell Hogan is.
Who Fernell Hogan is? Well, Fernell Hogan is a social entrepreneur, community-focused empowerment specialist. I'm a social genius.
A social genius. I love that.
That's a mouthful. We got to get that printed up on a business card somewhere.
It's just basic about. I just look at. I'm just trying to be the person that wasn't there for me in my upbringing. Areas I needed help, I wish I would have needed help. I'm just trying to fill those voids in our communities.
Trying to fill those voids. So what kind of voids are in our communities? What kind of things are you working on?
Well, basically, I'm working on, right now, we're focused on STEM programming. We're focused on financial literacy training, of course. We're based on career exploration, mentoring and tutoring, and specialized art programs.
Okay. So what community, is it just your local community that you're focused on right now? So like kind of what's your vision for the work that you're doing?
Well, the vision for Here for Good Texas, we're actually using the local community as a blueprint. We're bringing all the resources there and making a scalable program that we can duplicate the communities across Texas, across the nation, basically. But mainly, it's starting out as a local initiative. Like I said, just to get all the kinks and knots out of it, and so we can make it scalable. Similar like a McDonald's, get the processing systems in place, and we can put it anywhere in America.
That is key, right? Being able to duplicate. That's big vision, right? How did you get started in this work, Fernell? Like, how did you fall into this, education, financial education, STEM, helping the community side of things?
I think it always ignited from me, my parents' side, as when my kids was going through school. You have a firsthand experience on what is and what isn't offered in the schools. So as I went through those journeys, I started trying to plug the voids and plug those holes up. Where the school can't do everything. So we as parents in the community, I figured our part. We had to do our part to get things done.
Yeah,
and that's what basically started it. It basically started like a mindset thing, for my own son. Because like at 10 years old, I raised my son to be an athlete up to 10 years old, and I realized it wasn't for him. So so I sit back, I sat him down. I said, man, pick what you want to do. So he chose musical theater. So we figured out what's the end goal for musical theater, which was Broadway. So at 10 years old, we made this plan for him to get to Broadway. And as of today, he's on his third Broadway show. Wow. And it made me look like, as a parent, I'm like, man, if I instill this anything is possible mentality into him, can I duplicate this into other kids, make it a system where we can work on their self-esteem, help them identify what they want to do early, and then we just put the tools and resources in place to help them achieve their goals along the way.
That's so important. That's so important. Like giving kids that vision, man. One of the visions that we've talked about for United Agency for our company is that we want to have a dream school or a vision school that we put in place for children. Now, Derrick and I talked a little bit about this maybe being in the metaverse, right? Or putting this into someplace digitally. I think we might have lost Fernell for a second. That's okay. He'll come back in. There, he'll come back in. But either way.
All right, we can talk about our metaverse vision.
We can talk about the vision, right? But yeah, so like again, and Fernell will jump back in when he comes. Here he is. But just having that vision, Fernell, we were just reiterating that having that vision and giving a child that vision is important. It's something that we want to be able to do. And Derrick and I talked about it, potentially this being in the metaverse or something where it is, this kind of new wave of digital education and how it can be an immersive experience where we can really get kids to have a dream, have a vision, something that continues to stretch their mind. And it's by exposing them to those types of things, right?
Yes, and it has to be a segmented program, though. You have to be able to have something to support the parents as well.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing like you trying to instill something in the kid and the parents fighting you, combating your efforts. So, you have to have a inclusive programming that everyone is covered. So everyone is on the same page.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go back a little bit for now. I think that's amazing. The story that you just shared about your son, how he was on the path to becoming an athlete, and then you guys took a turn and went in a different direction. Were there any challenges that came with that? Because I know in the communities that I grew up in, it was all about sports. That was our ticket out of the hood, either basketball or football. And you guys went in a totally different direction. What was that like?
You got to realize sometimes you got to break the cycle. Sometimes what I experienced on that field was a lot of kids being pressured. There's a lot of parents who like to live their dreams through their kids. They want their kids to be where they thought they was going to be. Yep. I don't think like that, but that's something we have to overcome.
Yeah,
I agree. I definitely
because if you go look at that field, you can see some of them kids at an early age who are just not athletic ability, with any athletic ability, but they're being forced because they come from a family of athletes. So you're forced to go down this path.
What's funny, Fernell? Like I say the exact same thing about entrepreneurship and having a job or like college and job route. I say the exact same thing. If you come from a family and a household and a lineage of we all go to school, go to college, get a job, work the job, if that's the message, it's really hard for that person, that kid that's like, nah, I don't fit in at school. It's not like I don't really understand this way, but I'm really good at talking to people, or I'm really good at, sales, or I'm really charismatic, or I'm really artsy, right? But the school route isn't my way. We're not good at pointing them in the direction of being an entrepreneur, right? Like exploring that side. So it's all the same. It's really about exposing kids to, all the alternative paths of becoming successful, right?
Right. And you got to look at it like this. You get out of kid what you put into the kid. Now we're talking about the positive sides of it. Now just imagine the kids who are on the negative side of the spectrum, what they're seeing done in the past, they're forced to trace.
Sure.
I had a class 2 weeks ago A third grader told me he know he's going to jail because all his family goes to jail.
Mm.
And that just hurt my heart. And I pulled him outside, pulled him to the side,
Right.
and I explained it to him. I said, man, I'm 51 years old. I've never been to jail. So don't believe that myth about every black man has to go to jail, because we don't.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so I love what Chris said a second ago about having that vision, right? I feel like that kid, unfortunately, no one has given him the proper vision, the
Right.
proper things to focus on, to see that there are more things out there besides going to jail, because that's what you're growing up in. And so that's what I love about the work that you're doing, Fernell, because you're focused on giving these kids different opportunities to see different things. So, man, keep doing the work you're doing, man. It's awesome.
That's huge. That's huge.
Exactly, the different career paths. Because what we're fighting against, the rappers and the athletes. That's
Mhm.
what every kid wants to see.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. And so I was wondering too, for now, I've been on a lot of panels with you in the past before, and one of the most exciting ones that I've been on with you is the Budget the Bag panel. And so I would love for you to speak to the audience and tell them a little bit about your Budget the Bag initiative.
But with Budget the Bag roundtable series was initiative we were doing over the pandemic, where we were doing segmented, uh, focused roundtables. 1 month we did the NFL players with student athletes, and we got them together to discuss money problems. The next month we did the NBA players with the student athletes, and we even curated Broadway actors, got them to the round table. And what we were finding from the stories were that, being that most of the athletes come from underserved communities, they were never prepared for the big sums of money they were getting. And they told us
Mhm.
about the horror stories that they went through with 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 getting their new fame and their money. They told us about the misspending, about the shady advisors, the
Yeah.
bad investments, the friends and family aspect of it, and we always look at all the good stuff that comes with money. They were letting us know the bad stuff that comes with money that no one seems to focus
How
on.
how did that resonate with the youth? Like, how did that affect the kids? Do you think they understood it? Do you think it kind of went over their head? How do you think they got that message?
No, a lot of them were getting it, and a lot of them were changing their mindset. I actually saw a change in mindset, because before the panel, I would ask them, if you got this much money, what would you do with it? And then you would get their answers, and then after the panel, you go back and do that same assessment and see where their mindset had changed,
Different things, right?
Like that.
So that's where I was gauging the impact from. Plus, I was also getting them to the perspective where not every one of them are going to make it on nobody football field, anybody basketball field. I mean, basketball court.
Mhm.
But I want you all to focus on all the career paths that's available through the sports industry. You might not be able to be on a field, but you can be making a good income in the sports industry,
Sure.
Yeah.
with the back office jobs.
Yeah. And you're also diving into more STEM work also, so that gets them into, right, the sciences and
Mhm.
especially the technology space,
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
Exactly. So that's the whole thing, is trying to get everything bundled under STEAM. I'm even trying to roll the financial literacy aspect under the mathematics part of STEAM.
Hmm.
So when you
Definitely.
go into the schools, you don't have to say STEAM and financial literacy. Okay, we have the STEAM programming, and this is everything that's included in it.
Yeah.
So is that the path that you're trying to go through with Here for Good Texas, working with the schools, or is it working with community leaders?
It's a mixture of both, because you have to synergize everyone's efforts. What I really do, I get the business owners. I'm trying to make corporate dollars meet community needs.
Mhm.
So I have to work both sides of the field just to synergize, bring everything together, which is what social enterprise is really about.
And so that I guess that was one of my questions. Why did you choose the nonprofit avenue versus the for-profit? Was that what inspired
Well,
you to do that?
first of all, I'm not a nonprofit. I'm a social
Okay, okay.
enterprise,
Social
which is a
enterprises.
hybrid, between the for-profit and the nonprofit.
Okay.
And what really distinguishes us is, like, we don't have these high areas of profit margin. for staff, top level staff. So if we generate revenue streams, we can donate that money back into the impact of the causes that we're serving, and we don't have all this top loading for the salaries. And when I want to do something for the nonprofit side, I just form a fiscal sponsorship with a local organization. I have a local fiscal sponsor and I have a national fiscal sponsor for all my community efforts.
Very cool.
Got it. That's good, man. So what's the vision? What is it that you need from the people? What is it that you is going to help you kind of take that next step for the organization?
I think the challenge we're facing, let's say with financial literacy, is not sexy. No one wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
Even with the teachers, like Derrick can tell you with the pilot program, all we need is a teacher at the school to oversee the program.
Mm-hmm.
But what you have is these teachers who, when you tell them about financial literacy, they get vulnerable, because financial literacy, it makes them think about the money decisions they make. And a lot of them, they have actually told me they don't want to have imposter syndrome. They want to be out there teaching financial literacy when they're not living the financial aspects.
That's
and
very
I told
interesting. That's a very interesting conversation, though. That they don't feel like they're in the place to even teach financial literacy because they're not living it themselves. Yep. Right. So there's like a conflict there.
It's a really good point.
And that's what we're going to discuss on April the 30th at the Budget the Bag Summit. We named that one the state of financial education in schools and communities. I want to bring together all the superintendents, bring together the principals, the teachers, the business leaders, political leaders, community leaders, everybody in our community that can affect us implementing financial education in these communities. And the only way we can do that is hold them accountable of their jobs. We have to start holding them more accountable, because there's a lot of people in power positions of power, man. They're really not having no impact on the community. I'm just gonna say it. Nobody wants to say it. They're not having no impact on the community. We have an old school regime in place who are trying to use old school tactics to address new school problems, and it's not working. Like I tell them, like we look at, let's say our age about the stock market. Nobody told us about the stock market in school. Nobody told us about that. I was fighting with our school district since 2008 to try to get the free stock market game in the schools. But if it's not on the curriculum, they don't want to hear it. Derrick, you should know, if it's not on the curriculum, they don't want to touch it.
Fernell, what do you think the root problem is? That Derrick and I have had some conversations offline about this stuff, but what do you think the root problem is? Why it's such a struggle to get financial literacy into schools?
Because you really want my opinion. I say it's deeper than that. Because from my position, I think to me, the education system is set up to create financial failures. Because once they go through college in the search for this higher education, they're coming out of college with a bunch of student debt and not enough jobs.
Sure.
But the mentality we have as Americans, the only way to be our success story is the college degree.
Right.
That may have been true in the past, but that really, everybody's not made for college.
Yeah.
There's so many more options now available.
There's so many more options, but that's the deeper problem right there. Because we can have all the tools and resources. Financial literacy education is not new.
Right.
It's new to us. There's a lot more of us getting into the space because we see the need, but it's not new. And I think America had the tools and the time to implement financial education in the schools if that was something they want to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes we feel like we trying to change the world that doesn't want to be changed. And as disruptors, that's the challenges we're gonna face.
Yeah, but I always have a saying that, especially even in what I do, that I'm looking for the people looking for me, right? Like we're looking for the people looking for us. There's enough people now because of the exposure, because of the conversation of financial literacy and financial education is moving forward. Just the conversation, I used to say a lot of times that we just have to talk about money more. That's actually it. Like we just have to talk about it more. We don't feel comfortable talking about it. So once we get to that place, we can just talk about it. Then we start finding the people that really want this information. And again, that's why Derrick and I chose to do this series for this month, is because we know there's people out there, parents specifically, educators specifically, that actually do want this financial education in their school, like to, have their children have access to it. But not enough people are speaking up, right? Not enough people are.
There's so much fear there, Chris, man. And I think, like you said, we got to find a way to take the fear out of finance. And I think an important part is the parents. The conversations happen. So I've heard you mention, Fernell, the parents a lot while you were talking today. And so I think they are the key, man, to making sure that they feel comfortable having these conversations. And then, like you guys said, even with the teachers need to feel comfortable. And so they need tools and resources and different things like what you're doing. And I love how you're starting the conversation to kind of get the ball rolling and getting these people together so that we can find a path forward together. And so I love that about the work that you're doing, man.
Exactly. It's all about awareness and access. We have to raise the awareness on the tools that's being offered, and we have to make sure that the community is able to access it. That's why in my target area, I've identified all the engagement points. I've identified all the schools, the libraries, any way that I know that the community can receive information. Like just recently, I formed a partnership with the Parks and Recreation Department. Okay. And so we got 19 parks that he managed that we're going to be able to deliver programming over the summer.
Awesome.
So it's just about getting that engagement out.
So my question is, so as far as the work you're doing, is there anything you think our LinkedIn Live audience can do to kind of help support the work that you're doing?
Yeah, they can just get loud about financial literacy. We have our Loud campaign started, which is lessons on understanding dollars. Chris, you participate in the Loud campaign. We just get more loud about it, raise the awareness on the campaign, raise the awareness about financial education. If they have a kid in school, let's find out how can we get financial education in their schools, or if they want to get on our platforms and access some of the content, some of the education. But that's just it. Just being more aware of it, and if business owners have a organization in their community, support that organization that's focused on financial literacy.
Yeah, and guys. Fernell's down in Houston, Texas, right? So anybody that's in that area, feel free to connect with him and support the organization. He's gonna have, and you're here on LinkedIn as well, Fernell. So I know that you're talking about the upcoming events. When is that Budget the Bag? That's coming up the end of this month, correct?
Yes, that's coming up the end of this month, and we're doing our Financial Fun Fest in the community on the 23rd.
There we go. Right.
So we have it. We connected with some financial partners, some of the financial institutions in the areas. I'm going to be highlighting all the programs from our network of financial leaders, because I'm bringing all of y'all to my community.
Love that.
Come to my hood, all y'all.
Yeah. I love that.
That's it. We're there.
Y'all come to my hood, then we're going to take it and we're going to bring it to y'all hood.
So, for now, I also wanted to ask you before we head out of here, what is the best piece of financial advice you've ever received personally? And who gave it to you?
Personally, mine was a heart aching story. Mine was more business related.
Okay.
And it was because I had a thriving business. I had over 300 retail stores with my product. I had a clothing line. And then I morally outgrew the clothing line, let's say, per se. But due to my lack of financial literacy knowledge, I didn't know I could sell a business. I didn't know I could add value to my business and sell a business. And once I found out, I got a mentor years later, and we went through the numbers that I was doing, and he was like, what in the hell did you do? You know, he was like, "What the hell did you do?" Because he had valued my business at about $10 million at the time. He said,
Wow.
"If I had kept going, yeah, because the only competition I had was FUBU. You know, that's how far ahead I was. I was doing import export way before my time.
Oh,
Had my
wow.
own jeans, my own sweatsuits. I had 2 retail stores, but
That's
I
amazing.
didn't know I could sell my business. Yeah, it chokes me up at times, but you know, but that was it. That's the one that really got me.
Hmm. I
Man.
bet you learned a lot from that experience, man.
Listen,
Oh,
there's no such thing as failures. There's
Yeah.
just lessons.
that was a lesson. I take that L and made it turn into a lesson.
That's
Yep.
right.
Yep.
That's right.
So all the businesses we build now, we build with our exit strategy.
That's
You know,
right.
you
Hmm.
start from your exit strategy, then you reverse engineer it.
Yep. Yep.
That's the
And,
And
way.
so I can see now why you have that passion for financial literacy because of your experience. Because you feel like because of the lack of it, you feel like if you had it, sounds like you'd have made different choices. And so I just
oh
like the fact
yeah,
that you are trying to give back to other people to make sure that they're not in that same position that you were in. So
it, it-
it makes
exactly.
sense.
I even made a concept out with my own name. It's helping others get access now. That's Hogan. That's my,
There we go.
Others get access now.
There we go.
it's
Listen,
it's
that needs
more
to
than a
go on.
name.
Hey, that needs to go on a
Yes,
billboard somewhere. For now, you got to put
Hogan.
that on a billboard somewhere. That's
And
good.
that's the Hogan Venture Group right there. That's the empire right there. You know.
There we
Helping
go.
others get access now.
There
Yeah,
we go.
and
We love it.
that's all it's about, man. Just getting that access. And like I say, just being the person that wasn't there for us. Because I think as adults, I mean, if I think it's real selfish of us if we sit back and let the next generation go through the same problems we went
Mm,
through.
Hmm.
You
exactly.
know, and we know we not gonna be able to save everybody. You know, everybody not gonna make it on this trip to success.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
so we need to be focused on the ones who want to make it.
Hmm.
Because a lot of times, I think in society we put more focus on the negative side than we do on the positive side. They'll put a child on TV who going to jail before they put somebody on TV who got a scholarship.
Right.
Yeah, I've witnessed that. You're right.
You
That's
know,
it.
so
We could change it. We can change it. You're obviously, moving changing the narrative, helping the community get this education that they need. So that's why we want to highlight you and all the work that you're doing for
and,
Nelson.
and, and,
Keep it up, man.
and one more thing, I want to let you guys know. Next month is Teen Self-Esteem Month. You
Okay.
know, this is
Okay.
what we were talking about. So that's going to be the big focus next week. We're going to launch the Anything Is Possible campaign again, relaunch the Anything Is Possible campaign, because we want to create forward thinkers and get these kids to dream again.
That's right.
Mm,
Let them dream again.
That's right.
that's
Kids,
right.
kids, kids deserve to dream, and they deserve to dream big. And we got to keep their minds expanding. So, man, good stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff. Fernell, we appreciate you. We appreciate the work you're doing. We appreciate you taking time to even jump on and talk to this LinkedIn audience. And yeah, everybody that's out there listening, you're in the Houston area, connect with Fernell, find out how you can support. This would be amazing to continue to grow. Just like you
Yes.
said, Fernell, have a system where this can grow to all different types of cities. But we got to start it somewhere and keep this
And
thing
Yep.
going.
that's the whole goal right there. Like we got arms everywhere right now. Like there, we got a very extensive. We have a global financial literacy network.
Yes.
You know, we can say that we actually have a global financial literacy network. So when we talk about we thinking global, no, we actually have reaches in global areas.
Hmm.
There we go.
Yep. Love it,
Good,
man.
good stuff.
Big vision equal big rewards, man. That's the way the game go, right?
That's
Amen.
right. That's
Yes.
right. That's right. So, again, another great conversation. We appreciate you, Fernell, jumping on our Finance First Money series here on LinkedIn. And again, for everybody that's watching, feel free to connect with anybody that you see here. Connect with Fernell if you're down in that Houston area. Connect with Derrick. Where can people find you, Derrick? Here on LinkedIn, it's a good place to find you, right?
Well, perfect place to find me here on LinkedIn. You can check me out on Twitter at Seedlyng or at iMar Learning, or just visit us at seedlyng.com. And you can learn all about the work we're doing. Fernell, one of our partners, helping us grow our financial literacy brand so that we can help more and more teens and their families.
That's it. That's the mission.
And that's it.
Good.
Y'all can check out budgetthebag.com for more information on the upcoming summit and any other information any other events that we have going on in the Houston area.
So budgetthebag.com.
Budgetthebag.com. You can check out hereforgoodtx.com as well.
Here for good TX.
Texas.
Everything's bigger in Texas. Do it big.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
That's right, guys. So
just trying to get you here, Chris.
I know. Listen, eventually, it looks like Fernell logged off, so we'll log off. Hey, we're coming back in next Tuesday with another Finance First series. Hopefully lock it in your calendars and check in with us on Tuesday. All right.
All right.